E-commerce entrepreneurs, what is up? I am very, very, very excited to bring you Christian Alatorre and Zarar Ameen from CANZ Marketing. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
So they are actually joining us all the way from Pakistan. I'm here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, so it's quite a time zone difference. What is that, like 11 hours, guys?
8.
For you, it would be about
No, 9. Sorry, it's 9 hours. Yeah.
9 hours. Yeah. So it's like morning here and probably night there, right?
Yeah, we got the lights on.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I want to dive a little bit first into the digital agency side of things to kind of come at e-commerce from that perspective and your kind of your growth there, and then we'll take a little bit of a turn more into e-commerce from the store perspective. So just first, why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell me about the roles that you guys each play within CANZ Marketing. And then we'll talk a little bit about your journey.
Cool. Go first. All right, cool. So my name is Zarar, like you mentioned. I'm the CEO actually of CANZ Marketing. So my role right now is changing, right? So in the beginning, when we first started, I was doing everything. I was an accountant, I was a lawyer, I was a Facebook ads guy, I was building the funnels, every single thing, we both were doing, like, we were everyone, right? We had multiple different hats on. But now, yeah, I think everybody's kind of like, in that boat. But then we realized we said that we're putting in, these 16-hour days, and we feel like we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I mean, Albert Einstein says the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. We wanted a badass business. We want a huge business. And we were like, if we keep doing these things, we're going to be stuck inside the business. We're kind of on that, we're like a hamster on that wheel. So we realized we kind of switch our roles and kind of start working on the business, right? So now it's kind of, we have about, I think we have about 12 full-time guys. We work with about 20, 25 contractors on a daily basis. So now it's kind of like, I'm kind of like driving the boat,
Yeah.
Get a lot of reports from people, and I'm basically kind of like setting the vision and hiring people. I have 3 basically main things. Number 1 is keeping enough money in the bank, keeping enough cash flow to feed our people. Number 2 is making sure our vision is met, and our people, the employees we hire, everyone's on the same vision. And number 3, which is one of the most important things, is hiring people. I think if you have those 3 things as a CEO, you're doing pretty good.
Do you find it hard to find good talent in the Facebook ads world?
Yeah, it's tough. It's not easy.
Everyone swears they're amazing, right?
Everybody's the best, and not even Facebook.
Like case studies and Facebook ad screenshots like crazy, and it's like, oh my god, yeah. And then maybe it has to be that way.
Yeah, but we just want people who are at least like, even like if they're mediocre, we can train them, and if they have a good sense of Facebook ads, then I think we can definitely get them to the next level. Yeah.
And so have you done more of that route then, like hiring people that you then train to do to be rock stars in the Facebook ads world, or have you looked more for like the rock star that can be the rock star from day one?
I mean, we would love a rock star right off the bat, right? But so far we haven't had any luck.
Yeah.
So the thing is that, like I said, we try to find people who are at least mediocre and stuff, and then we work with them, try to get them.
We try to find people who are at least mediocre. Yeah. I mean, I've been really lucky with a lot of people that I've been able to work with that have really, like, I run into both, honestly, but yeah, like it can be a little counterproductive if you have to train someone to help be able to help your clients. But yeah, I mean, if you have 12 full-time employees, it looks like you figured out that and you got that down. I love asking this to agency owners, like, what were you doing before your agency, and when did that transition happen?
Yeah, so before our agency, actually, we were both in college at universities here in California. So I went to San Diego State, and he went to San Jose State, and we ended up dropping out after our first year. That's really what we were doing. I mean, we didn't know what we wanted to do that first year. We decided to go to college, because everyone else is doing it.
It was a cool thing.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I did the whole college because everyone else was doing it too. What did you guys major in?
well, we didn't finish college, but I was going.
Cool.
I was going for business, but I didn't learn anything about business. By the way, so you're in college and business, bad idea.
Yeah, I went for psychology, finished it, and then I'm like, I'm not going to be a psychologist. Like, what? Yeah, that's cool. So you guys have a really cool story about your agency about how you went from $40,000 in debt to now pushing 7 figures. I would love to hear what happened, and then how did you turn the boat around?
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not sure how old you think we are, but you want to take a guess actually?
Oh God, not really. I would guess close to my age, so upper 20s.
So I'm 20 and he just turned 20 as well.
20.
Yeah. We started our agency when
Oh my God, I'm gonna have like what?
Yeah.
We joined
the interview with that. You guys are 20 and 21, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we joined the academy actually. I was 17 and he was 18. Just turned 17, just turned 18 and now.
No way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, for the listeners who don't know what the academy is, that's how we actually originally met. It's an online program where you get better at Facebook ads and agency building and everything. But holy what? Okay, cool. So wait a minute. So that's even a crazier story. So you were in 40K in debt before you hit 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, we were broke, man. We didn't even have enough money for food sometimes. Honestly, like I still remember the day where me and him and we had another friend. We literally emptied. What was it? What did you have?
It's like a little iPhone earphone bag.
Yeah.
It was full of change.
Pennies, dimes, nickels, and we went to go to the 99-cent store to get some snacks. That's where we started. So
Wow.
we started from nothing, right? No money, zero. So we realized, everything, like we wanted to get trained, and what we realized was we read a lot of books, personal development books, YouTube videos, and we came to know that we need a mentor, man. This thing, you can succeed without a mentor, but it'll take you like 5-10 years longer. So we were like, man, as being young, we're not patient, man. We want it now. So we realized we need to learn from someone. Problem is, no one's gonna teach you for free, for a long time.
Yeah.
So we knew Andy, Andy Seeley. He's one of our. He was actually a rugby coach in high school. So we knew him.
Oh, okay. So Andy Seeley, guys, is he's a sales coach now, and another badass agency owner that I hope to have on here one day as well. But go ahead.
Yeah, I can actually get you connected to him if you want.
Perfect. Yes.
So that's another story. I kind of accidentally,
No, go ahead. So you guys are super young. You're just getting started. You're eager to get going, and you knew Andy Seeley. Yeah.
So actually, what happened was the way we started our agency was by me making the wrong turn. I was driving my car, and I know this is gonna sound weird, but I basically ended up next to my high school, and I realized it was a Saturday and there's a rugby game going on. So I was like, let me just stay here for 5-10 minutes. Let me take a look. And he was a rugby coach there. So I watched the rugby game, and then I was talking to him, and he was telling me that, yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm on the call with people, we charge 5-10K. And I was like, 5-10K per deal? He was like, yeah. And he just said it like normal. 5-10K for us at that time was 5 million, maybe more.
A lot of those little headphone bags.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, he was explaining to me about Facebook. He was telling me like all about Facebook, like the ad side of it. And I was just so interested. And I had this gut feeling like this is the future. This is where I want to be. And I was so pumped up. I went to his house, and I was like, dude, we got to do this. We have to do this. We had no business background, no nothing. So yeah, I mean that's how we kind of started. So we didn't have money, right? And what we realized, like I said, we needed money. So we kind of we thought about who can invest in us, and we came out to one person. And basically we pitched him our idea and stuff, and he was pretty good in SEO and like website stuff. So he's not a passive investor. He works, and actually he's the one now managing the whole office here in Pakistan now. So he was very interested in stuff. So he gave us some money. It wasn't 40 grand, it was 10 grand.
You guys were 20 years old. You found business partner and investor in starting your agency.
Yeah. So yeah, and he's with us. It's an amazing partnership we have. We're all like, we all lack in some areas, and then we all three of us, like, we're components to each other. So I think that's a really big part of our success.
That is so awesome. That's a really cool story. And so just since then, you've been growing the agency, and obviously you've paid back the original debt and have now grown.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, cool. So just to like kind of open the topic of more e-commerce, can you guys tell us an e-commerce success story that you guys have had?
So yes, well, we actually we've had quite a few pretty solid sized brands come through our funnel. We used to run the performance-based funnel.
Yeah.
So not too long ago, she was an e-commerce store. She had a makeup removal wipes. It was pretty awesome. I don't wear makeup, obviously. You know, we don't wear makeup, and I was pretty amazed by the product myself. So fell in love with it. But anyway, so she had a brand new funnel. She came to us. She was like, I can't do anything. I've tried. You know, we have no idea. And we're like, okay, what kind of targeting are you doing? And then, you know, we got into some technical questions, and she just had no idea what was going on.
They spent 20 grand and they've made back 2. So a baby could have done better than them.
Were they doing it all themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that a lot too. Okay. And so you went in, you audited the account, you started up with them. What did you build out for them?
Yeah, so what was the question? Sorry.
What did you build out for them? Did you build out a new funnel, or?
Yeah, so we built out a brand new funnel, top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel. And within, what was it, two weeks, we started getting over 2x return on ad spend, and unvalidated funnel, brand new audiences.
And we're spending quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That actually helps. You know, when the client allows you to have, you know, a substantial budget from day one, and doesn't like tie your hands behind your back with a really small budget, and you know, that always allows the gates to really open. You know, when you do find those winners, you can scale them up pretty quickly. I find that a lot. You know, like when you that path seems to be the most successful with our clients as well. When you have, you know, the owner of the company that's like, yeah, I believe in this. We know this can work. Here's a substantial budget, and let's make it happen. Versus, well, I'm going to give you a few $1,000s, and if I get something back, then I'll give you a little bit more. But, you know, it has to, you know, that path is just, it can be really frustrating. And so I can relate with that.
Exactly.
That's
cool. So where are they at now, or how did you where did you end up getting them?
Yeah, so we were on the come up. That was actually one of the brands that we were getting some pretty big return on ad spends for. Actually, that was 17x we were hitting for her.
For bottom of funnel.
Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, they were big already, right? They had deals with Ipsy, Sephora, Nordstrom, yeah, I think a couple of big other brands. So they were pretty flexible, and, you know, like you said, they were willing to give us the money and the time to do our magic, and we just took it out.
You know, one thing we really like to tell people is that to take some time to reflect. All right, so we still remember the moment where we actually went from San Diego to a mall called Fashion Valley, pretty high-end stores there, and Sephora's there. So we decided, hey, let's go check it out. You know, he was actually in Pakistan setting up the office, and I was back at home. So when he got back, we were like, let's go check it out. And we were able to walk in, and we saw the product on the shelf, and it was just amazing. You know,
we were like, we're doing the marketing for that. It felt just amazing, you know?
It was amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that's definitely a special feeling. I recently had one where, you know, the company didn't exist prior to us working with them. Like, they completely launched with us. And so seeing a company like choose your team to scale them from complete zero to now like 100K a month is like the coolest feeling ever. And just watching your accounts grow and having that client success, it really fuels like further success within your own agencies and your other clients as well. It definitely bleeds over. What are some like major mistakes you see e-commerce store owners make when you first like go through and audit their account, or you first encounter them and you look through and you're like, okay, you've done this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. What are some really big common ones?
We get into the details, but, you know, the biggest thing, and I say it's funny because it just shows how people underestimate what Facebook can do, right? So they get on the calls, because I was taking calls for a lot of time, and then now I'm listening to calls because we have business development team. And you know, this woman gets on the phone and she's freaking out. She's like, "Hey, my ads aren't working. I'm spending a ton of money,
which is like $200.
$200.
Oh, yeah, it was $200. Yeah, they've reached like 1,000 people.
Yeah, and she's not getting results. And you know, I ask her, "Okay, what's your budget? $200. Okay, well, that's maybe a problem. And okay, how long have you been running ads? 2 days. Well, you're really early on, you know. So that's one thing, is that people don't.
Lack of knowledge,
right? There's that knowledge barrier. And a lot of clients, even when they do onboard, we do our best to give them as much knowledge of how it works. But even then, they still kind of have this knowledge barrier because there's just so much, right? Even we, and I'm sure we all don't know absolutely everything about Facebook. It's still constantly new. That's the first thing that, you know, usually comes in, just something basic like that. And then technical things inside the ad account. When we go into that.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't have they don't have any strategy there. You know, they're just, a lot of them are just boosting posts.
Yep. Yeah. You know, it seems like Facebook makes it really, really easy for, you know, just business owners to hit that boost button or to spend a little here, a little there in advertising. And they should. I mean, it's their business model. They want those little chump change $200 from this business owner times, you know, 1 million small business owners is a ton of money for Facebook. And, you know, like they don't do the best job in letting those business owners know that when you boost a post, we're going to give you likes. We're not going to give you sales. We're going to give you likes because you're using the engagement objective in our algorithm. Like they have no concept of how that works. And so you know, when I meet clients that are just boosting posts, it's kind of like you have to deconstruct everything that they presumed about Facebook ads and the way that they worked, and then teach them about conversion marketing and that there's a thing called Ads Manager that has multiple objectives. You know what I mean? In it, like that just from like the boosting post thing, and then you go into like an area like events where you can promote an event on Facebook, but if you just go ahead and boost your event or promote your event, you're actually just getting event responses in the Facebook platform. You're not actually getting Eventbrite ticket confirmations. You know, so there's like these minor disconnects throughout the whole system that a lot of business owners have no idea, you know, what's going on. So I always thought that was pretty funny. What are
you can't like deposit likes at the bank. You know, you can't go to the bank and be like, I got 2,000 likes.
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
not at all. And it's funny because that's the game has really changed. You know, not even like maybe like five to 10 years ago, even less. It was more about engagement and it was more about content. Like I remember everyone saying like, "Well, content is king." Like that used to be like a saying that people would throw around. And like content is important, but like in terms of revenue, ads are king. And making sure that, you know, your funnel is set up in the right way. And yeah, I see crazy stuff all the time. I'll also see like other agencies and that have like just disaster exploded inside of the ad account, and trying to go through that with someone else's naming conventions can be just an absolute nightmare. Have you guys experienced that too?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, like we said in the beginning, a lot of people, they promise the world, they say, "Hey, we can give you some unicorns," you know, it's crazy madness, and they think they know everything. And you know, we end up going in and just seeing the aftermath.
I try to keep it like as realistic as possible with like when I speak with leads on the phone that are interested in the agency. I try to keep it like as realistic as possible, and I find actually that a lot of them really respect that and really enjoy that because, and like recently I had a guy, I told him like, "Look, this is what I think is actually realistic and what we can do for sure. More than that is definitely possible, and we're gonna aim for that. But this is what you can kind of stay comfortable in knowing that this is where we feel like we can get you." And he goes, that is so nice to hear that, because I just got off of another call with an agency like a week ago who told me, "Yeah, man," because he saw he had a big ad budget. He goes, "Yeah, man, I can get you like 100K a month within 2 months at least a 5x return easily." And like the guy was such a skeptic, and he was so turned off from like the agency world because like he's not an idiot. He knows you're blowing smoke up his ass. You know what I mean? So like I find when you get really more realistic with them and more like down to earth, like they really enjoy that, you know. Can you like, so I mean, you guys are obviously well versed in funnels and e-commerce. Can you kind of explain a little bit of how an e-commerce funnel works, and what's the difference between just putting up a link click campaign or just a one-off conversion campaign and actually building out a real funnel?
So just like a basic funnel is like, for example, we would run, say, video, top of funnel. It could be a video of a client's product where they're, there's their clients, they're, basically like testimonials and like what the product does and stuff like that. You hit that for like a cold audience, right?
Yeah.
Cold audience is for the people who don't know your brand. So you hit them with that, and then you can actually even target in Facebook like 50% people who watch the video, like 50%, 75%, 90%, and then you can show them all different types of ads depending on how much they're interested. But just like a basic thing, the second part we just kind of like hit them with a product, for example, and if they don't purchase, then we would just retarget them maybe with a bundle or with a discount code. Now, if they do purchase, we always try to upsell them, and that's a big thing. A lot of people don't take advantage of. So upsell them with one product. And what we realized was that there's a lot of people who will actually buy. So the people who buy that upsell, they'll buy another upsell. So send them. Okay, but you also don't want to send too many upsells because that's going to hurt your brand, and it's not going to be good user experience for the client. So what you can do is, for the people who don't buy the first upsell, you don't show the second upsell. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So do that, you can take so much more money, and if you do that double upsell like that, and it's like extra, because it's hard to get people from Facebook to the website. If you have them there, try to find as whatever you can to increase that bottom line. So,
no, to that point, like the things that you can do. So it's like building out the funnel and getting, using the top of funnel to test your audiences with a video is something that's super important. Then, driving like middle of funnel conversion campaigns that are built on the backs of the data from your top of funnel, like you were saying, like with the 50% viewership and things like that. And then having your retargeting. So if you have your dynamic product ads or, whatever you have in terms of retargeting with like 10, 15% off, that's like the framework. But you're hitting on something that's super important as well, which is just being able to leverage it beyond the framework. So something that we're seeing massively help a lot of our clients in e-commerce lately is being able to utilize the lists that we're building from these clients. So we just had 2 major flash sales for our clients, Labor Day and Columbus Day, and we saw like just about like more than about 10x in revenue from a normal day versus like the Labor Day sale. And if we made it a 3-day Labor Day weekend sale, we saw almost 10x every single day. I mean, and it made the month just so much more insane. And it's going after all of your past purchasers, all of your past engagers. It's really driving in with your emails. We also have messenger campaigns that go out to them. And it's being like, hey, you bought the product before, you're probably going to want it again. Here it is again for 20% off, and you have to act right now, because they were probably already going to buy it again at some point anyway. Now you're just giving them a reason to do it. So we saw massive returns. And then now going into Q4, where we have, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, New Year's, there's so many like little flash sale opportunities, and those can just like tremendously increase the turnover. And so, yeah, absolutely. Being able to just leverage your funnel a little bit further. And also other clients of ours have really focused in on their back end. So, we can do everything on the front end. We're all front end, what we do. Like, look at your manufacturer, look at your suppliers, things like that you can, we had one client that instantly recouped more than 10% profit from just between 10 and 15% profit from a manufacturer switch once they hit a certain order level with us. That's massive, for a company. So yeah, I totally agree with you guys. When you're when you're mapping out a funnel for an e-commerce store, what are some of the first steps that you look for? Like what are some of the deliverables that you're going to look for in terms of the client having like pieces of it that you're going to need? Like do you get content made for them? Do you ask them for content, or how does that whole process work for you guys?
So ideally, who better to know the brand than the brand itself, right? And a lot of people, they actually want to be part of that process as well. Like, especially the brands that we work with, they want to be part of the creative process. They don't say, okay, you take it, you show us what you got. They're like, okay, let's either we send you something or we send you something to base off of, something like that. But ideally, if we can get creators from them, that's awesome. We can always give our suggestions. We do have developers on our end that can produce content as well. And videos is a big thing right now that's really crushing it.
Yeah.
And especially with the upcoming holidays, videos in the
and by the way, if you use video on Facebook, remember Facebook is competing with Google, with YouTube, right? So YouTube, Google owns YouTube.
Yeah.
And everybody's competing for a video, LinkedIn as well. So like video is the thing. It's much more cheaper than using, like a picture or something.
Yeah, your reach goes so far, and you get so many more people to retarget within your funnel. It's crazy versus using images and everything. Yeah, and there's so many different like apps and tools now to just make those, if you have to. So like there really is no excuse to not have like branded content for your store today. Well, this has been really great, guys. I do want to ask you before we wrap this up, like where do you guys see your agency going in the next 2 years? Because you guys are moving so fast. I don't even want to say 5 years. I want to say like 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Let's just put out that we want to be a $1 billion company.
Yeah.
And our goal is 10 years. So if you would ask 10 years, $1 billion company.
$1 billion.
Now, as far as 2 years.
And you're going to be, so you have one office in Pakistan. You guys obviously work on the go like all agency owners. I hear rumors that you're opening a new office somewhere.
Yes. So before obviously this meeting, we were talking that. So he's from Pakistan. He's got the background. So we decided to come here for that office. And then I'm from Mexico. So we're deciding to hop out there for our second office and just gonna keep expanding like that.
That's awesome.
It's a strategic. It's not like where we're from.
Oh yeah.
There's a whole thought process.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I've spoken to mentors and like a lot of people before making this big decision. And all of them were like, dude, that is so smart. Because for agency owners, one of the biggest, for any business, is like people, right? Is the biggest expense. So we realized if we can find quality people, the same type of people, and just pay them like 1/5, let's do that. We can invest much more on our, on making our service better and back into the business to make it even much more better. So that's what we're doing here.
And being able to scale that is, like we know, coming down to SOPs and systems and processes, something that's repeatable, so then we can scale it. And that's how we've been able to create and set up this Pakistan office so quickly. And we're expecting to set up that office in Mexico pretty quickly as well, and just keep growing it.
That is so awesome, guys. Well, you're 20, and one of you's 20, and how's the other one?
Both 20.
I just turned 20.
Just turned 20. Holy crap. Wow. So I'm 27. I'm thinking that I'm the young, like fresh face. Oh my God. I'm like ancient.
Everyone tells us that. And I just tell them, dude, just think that they're lying, even though they have good intentions. Because man, I'll tell you, if you think that you're getting successful, and we think we're just starting out, honestly, like I never think I'm successful. I just put like the first foot in, So if you keep listening to that, then you just feel like, oh, you know what, I am successful, and you kind of just like put your foot off the gas. We just want to just keep going forward and keep growing,
Yeah. Something I think, and I mentioned this on the last show too, something I think really can help everyone, and it's a thread that I see in successful entrepreneurs. It's a thread that I try to pull into my own life as much as possible. Something that I heard from Grant Cardone. He's like a sales guru. And I out of his book, I was reading maybe like 6 to 12 months ago. He had a whole chapter called Massive Action, and it was just all about just never stopping and constantly going forward, constantly taking that next step, like stepping over your failures. Okay, I failed. Next, doing the next thing, looking for the next opportunity, doing the office in Pakistan, getting the office in Mexico, get like all of your, it seems like you guys kind of, even if you hadn't heard that, like it sounds like you're kind of embodying that too, which is that whole massive action kind of thing. Like just keep going.
You're toast, man. The moment you stop, you're done. Like that's it.
Yeah. Like I mentioned this with Paige on the last episode too. Like I'll often get like entrepreneurial guilt if I'm chilling too much. You know what I mean? Like it's like I could be doing something right now to further this thing and keep it going. And so it sounds like you guys, like I own my business myself, and I have my team. You guys are like you guys are like partners, so you guys have each other to really kind of bounce off of each other with that. Accountability. So that looks really cool. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. I think there's going to be a ton of value. There was a ton of value in this, you know, for everyone that tuned in. And then I'm going to be posting this, you know, for e-commerce brand builders podcast. This is live in Facebook ads for e-commerce, and then also FAAB, which is the group for Facebook ads agency builders. I do want to announce really quickly before we get off here for everyone that's listening. I'm going to be speaking at Web Build It Con in Miami coming up this November, and so I'm super excited about that. And I'm going to be posting more links in the groups about that, so I can get if you guys are in Miami to come on over and join. It's going to be really excited. But thank you again so much for joining me. And I plan on kind of looping these back around, like maybe like within 6 to 12 months, just to kind of check in and see where everybody's going, what everyone's doing. I'm going to have some e-commerce store owners in here, along with agency owners, to kind of just get like both perspectives of like the e-commerce world, you know, the people who are really pulling the strings and the people who are, I guess, either pulling the strings or holding the pocketbook, you know what I mean? So I just get some really good perspective in here. But if that's my plan, to kind of have people looping around. So with you guys, I should probably do it in like 3 months, because you're moving so fast. Like who knows where you're going to be like even in 3 months from now. But thank you so much for the follow-up. But thank you so much for coming in, guys. What time is it now in Pakistan? You guys there? I think we may have lost the live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. I think we lost the connection, but I'll be reposting this video in all the channels. And I hope to see everyone tomorrow. I'm going to be posting in there as well, something special in the Facebook Ads for Agency Builders group. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day.